Hey friends, it's great to be back with you. I want to kick things off today by just thanking all of you who have liked and shared and subscribed to my YouTube channel. I just appreciate your continued help in me growing this message through Rounding Home, and I'm just thankful to be back with you today. I hope you're all well. Hey, I wanted to talk a little bit today, and I want to challenge you, and I want to ask you a question. What does your ride home look like? Home from a game, home from a showcase, home from a tournament. What does your ride home look like? What are you saying to your kids? What is the tone? And just really encourage you to maybe think through making some changes, because I think some of those changes can have a tremendous impact. You know, over the last 20 years of coaching, I've seen an awful lot of awesome things. I've developed some incredible relationships with my players, with their families, with umpires in baseball. I think one of the blessings of sports, and especially as a coach, are those things that we get to do, those lifelong relationships and those lessons that we get to learn along the way. And you know, as a coach, there's absolutely nothing like seeing breakthroughs, seeing kids commit to a goal personally or in the collective and just achieve great things together, breakthroughs. To have kids come through with some physical tools to help them focus and get behind what you're delivering to them and see all that play out is an incredibly powerful thing. You know, but just as I have seen some unbelievably incredible things along my coaching journey, I've also seen some incredibly, amazingly negative things along my journey, some very dangerous and destructive habits, one of which I think oftentimes can not only substantially diminish our kids' journey, but also the ride home is a culture killer in so many programs across the country. You know, one of my largest Restore Faith in Humanity moments, I think, was my 2019 team. We had a group of really talented kids, but above that, we had a community of parents that just made a commitment to buy into a vision, to a belief, to a process, to a staff, to lead. And that was a pretty amazing thing. And I don't think that it was a coincidence that our path to success and the fact that we had so many parents and kids who bought into process and to the roles that everybody played in that, it was huge. You know, I've always looked through the years, why are there so many talented teams that maybe don't reach their full potential? I think a lot of it has to do with the culture of program, what kids are bringing to the ballpark every day. But I want to talk a little bit, and this is your part in this, I think. I want to talk a little bit today about your ride home. I want to challenge you and lay out for you that so much of what you say, so much of what you deliver, and whether that ride home is 5 minutes or 20 minutes, whether that figurative ride home is through some text messaging, what you're saying, what you're delivering, the attitude, the context to your kids can have a profound impact on their journey. If you're familiar at all with the Matheny Manifesto, you've heard some of this before. If not, I would encourage you to find it. Google the Matheny Manifesto, written by former big leaguer, player, and current big league manager, and longtime big league manager Mike Matheny. It's an open letter to parents, just really challenging parents to allow their kids to be coached and to say one thing on the ride home: I love to watch you play. Not get your butt down or move your feet. Not you've got to stay on your block or you've got to pass better. Not I can't believe coach called that timeout when he did. Not I can't believe that they ran on 3rd and 5 instead of throwing the ball. Not I can't believe you're not getting more playing time. I'm going to be reaching out to your coach. Very simply, I love watching you play. You know, sports, I believe, very much mimics life. In my program, we demand 4 things of our kids. We want them to be coachable. We want them to be hard workers. We want them to be great teammates. And we want them to perform at a high level against the competition that we're going to have to compete against. We communicate this openly, and we communicate this often in every player meeting and every parent meeting, and throughout the course of the year, not only in the off season but in season as well. And I believe that life is going to demand these things, and I realize in a short order, if you have a high school student, they are 4 years away from heading off, whether that's college or the workforce. And I think as coaches and as parents, one of our largest responsibilities is to raise good human beings. And all that plays in are things like coachability and being able to be great teammates and perseverance and grit, all those things that life has the ability to teach us and work us through. But I think way too often today, partly because of our ride homes, we are really stunting the ability for sports and its coaches and its experiences to shape our young men and women, and we're doing so under the guise of protecting and providing the best opportunities for our kids. Mike Matheny has it right. Drop your kids off at the ballpark, at the gym, or at the field, and let them be coached, and let those coaches and life's lessons through sports be learned. We don't always get the promotions that we want. We don't show up and we don't perform. Good things don't generally happen. Those are the things that shape us and push us. Just as in 2019, I took a senior starting shortstop. He had started for 3 years. I communicated openly with him early that what got him here wasn't going to get him there. He started a couple games, spent the next 10 games on the bench. I came into my first year at this high school, 3-year starter, benched 3 games in, clearly communicated, here's what you're going to need to be to play for us. He played the last 11 games and went out as a starting shortstop on a state championship team. That player at that point in time and his family had the ability to just give up, to ruin the culture, to sulk and destroy things, and he chose not to. Now I'm going to tell you, there was a week in there that was pretty rough. But he came around. You know, one of the things I've tried to figure out over the last 20 years is how can I create 20 starting spots? I can't. We've got 10. And whatever sport you're in, there are only so many starting spots. But I would just encourage you to challenge your kids, and at the heart of this, I challenge you to think about what that ride home is. Every minute that we spend complaining or griping about calls, officials, decisions of coaches, who made the team, and those types of things, you are stunting the ability for sports to develop things like grit and perseverance and toughness, real life skills that they're going to need. And it often begins really with that ride home. Parents, I know that coaches aren't perfect. I also well know that there are way too many transactional coaches out there than transformational coaches. I would encourage you to really spend some time interviewing these travel programs or coaches themselves and really evaluate not just what they say, but what you see them doing. Decide as a family what are the most important things that you want to see in a Little League program, in a travel program, in a high school program. Seek them out and have conversations. As there are too many transactional coaches, there's an awful lot of great transformational coaches as well. Seek those out. Parents, our behaviors and the decisions that we make, the conversations we have with our kids matter. And I often wonder what changes. How does the youth journey change if it's less of griping about officials and playing time and more turning it around to personal responsibility for our kids and encouraging them to work harder, to get better, challenging them to be more supportive of their teammates even if they're not playing. All you have to do is go to YouTube and search parents fighting at the ballpark or something of the like, and you'll find page after page after page after page of embarrassing, hurtful, destructive behavior. I believe we owe our kids more than that. And I'm living that out right now with my children and doing everything that I can to keep these conversations at the hearts of with my team and my program. I love to watch you play. Not you've got to get better or not, can't believe you swung at that pitch over your head. I just love to watch you play. And parents, I'm going to challenge you. Try this, and try it soon. And what I want you to do in that conversation, especially if that's not been your conversation, I want you to see the look on your athlete's face when that's all you communicate. I want you to remember that. And then I want you to watch the impact that that has on our kids moving forward. Youth sports are awesome. So out of context right now in so many ways. But parents, the decisions that we make in helping meld our kids and allowing sports to do the same will have long-lasting impact, both positively and negatively. I encourage you all this week. I love to watch you play. Start there. Until next time, wishing you all well. Thanks again for your likes and shares. Have a great week and a happy Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you before. Believing in us, Coach Sass.